Hey everybody, NecroVMX here, and today I'm going to do my updated and expanded tutorial on how to make YouTube videos of gameplay with live commentary, meaning that it's commentary recorded as you're playing the game using emulators. Now, I want to point out that I am only going to show you one method of doing this. Well, actually, I'm going to show you two methods of doing this. But one method is, by what I mean by that, is I'm only going to show you my method of doing it. Now, that being said, there are other ways to get this accomplished. Now, I do use some programs that are not free programs, meaning that you will either have to pay to get them or you have to get them through other means. I'm not going to come right out and say it, but you probably can guess what I'm talking about. And no, I'm not going to help you with that. So please, if you have any comments or questions, I would be glad to field them. But there are two things that I'm going to ask you not to do right off the bat. One, don't ask me where to illegally download any programs. And two, don't ask me where to get any ROM or ISO image files. You should be able to find that on your own. I'm making this video for people I assume have these things already or can get them without my help and just want to know how I make the videos. Now, make the videos, you're going to need two things. You're going to need something to record the video and something to record the audio. Now, as far as hardware is concerned, the only thing that you need is a microphone. That being said, I use a headset. That way I can have my hands free for controlling the game with my controller or keyboard as the case may be, and I don't need to adjust the microphone or anything, or I can just do that really easily. It's always right by my mouth. So I use a headset. That is the only thing you definitely will need. If you're using a laptop, you may be able to just record using the laptop's microphone, which might actually be easier for you, but you might have to get kind of close to it. Anyway, to record the video, we're going to use the emulators themselves. And I'm going to run through a couple of emulators that do record video. The thing is, not all emulators record video, and some record video in a way that's not really usable for YouTube. So, to record video in cases where you can't use the emulator, or perhaps you don't even want to use that because it can get kind of complex, I use a program called Hypercam, and you can see it right here. This is Hypercam. I'm using Hypercam 2, and you'll notice that there isn't one of those unregistered Hypercam 2 boxes up at the top of the video. Somebody once asked me, hey, you use Hypercam 2, right? And I said, yes. And they said, how do you get rid of that unregistered Hypercam 2 message? And I said, well, that's simple. You have to register it. Not everything is free, folks. Now, I'm not saying that I paid for it, and I'm not saying that I didn't pay for it. Like I said, I don't have to come right out and say it. You guys can pretty much figure out what's up. Anyway, if you want to use Hypercam, here are the tabs that are relevant. Screen area and AVI file and sound. Now, if you're using Hypercam to record, you're in luck because it records both audio and sound in a way that requires no syncing, and you will only need the one program to record everything. Just in the sound file, make sure you have record sound clicked. Now I have it like set to 16-bit and 41. I don't really need it set to that because I actually alter the sound in my sound program to lessen the file size anyway, so I don't really worry about that. In AVI file, you're going to want to make sure that the file is going somewhere that you want it to be, so you can just click the browse button here and select what folder you want it to be dumped in. I dump them directly to the desktop, and you can actually see the file and the partial file, the backup of what I'm recording right now, right here on my desktop. Your video compressor should be FFD Show Video Codec. If you do not have this available, that's no problem. You can Google it. It's free. It often comes in a pack of codecs. FFD Show is the best video codec for recording that I have come across. It's extremely versatile. However, you're going to want to configure it. And right here you have configure this compressor. When you click on, now I'm not going to be able to click on this because I'm actually using this window to record right here. But when you click on this, it's going to bring up a screen. And maybe I can bring up another Hypercam. If not, I will show you in the emulator. Because no matter what program you're using, see now I can't, oh, here's another Hypercam. Okay. What you're going to do is I'm going to show you how it works. You're going to go to AVI File and you're going to click on Configure this compressor. Now I know that this, I'm running a big resolution and you're seeing this in a tiny little YouTube page, and I know this will be in high quality, so try and watch this in high quality if you can, but I'm going to tell you everything that this says. Right here under encoder it should say MPEG-4. I have a lot of different choices here, but this is the one you want, MPEG-4. Over here where it says 4cc, you have a couple of choices. You want to go for XVID. For mode, like I said, there's a lot of choices. You want 1 pass average bitrate. This is never going to change. This, however, is going to change. This is the actual bitrate. I'm recording this at 250. When I first started doing the channel, I think my very first video was recorded at like 60, and then I upped it to 100, and I slowly upped it to about 250, and I found that that's a good balance for most 8-bit and 16-bit games. Anything more than 8-bit and 16-bit, if you're getting into more advanced PC games, or you're doing PlayStation or Saturn or Nintendo 64 or anything beyond that, you're going to want to up that to 500. Anything that's really graphic intensive, like if you're recording something that's like a new high-end PC game, you're going to want to up it to about 1,000. But 250 if you're doing Nintendo, Genesis, Super Nintendo, TurboGrafx, Game Boy, that kind of thing, that's fine. When I do N64 videos or occasional, if I do high-end videos, which I don't do too often, I up it to 500. Just to tell you how good the 250 is, when I do video recordings of myself with my camera, that's the bitrate I use. So as you can see, the quality is it's not high quality when I do my cam videos, but it's good enough that it looks very good on YouTube and it's not choppy or blurry or anything. So 250 is pretty good. I just noticed that with 3D games, especially N64 games, 250 looks like shit, so I up it to 500. That being said, I'm going to show you how to use Hypercam real quick. Now, when you let's just bring up an emulator real quick, and I'm going to explain the emulators more in depth as I get into them. But right now, all I'm going to do is just bring it up real quick, and just to show you. Oops, I opened it twice. I'm sorry, everything's going a little slow right now because I actually have the antivirus running, which I don't really. Yeah, I don't really need to be running that right now. Okay, so we'll just get rid of that. So much better. Okay, so I'm just going to bring up a random NES game just to show you real quick what it would be like. Alright, so here, Adventure Island. And let me bring it over here. Now, I have the sound playing and everything. It's a little too loud, so I'm going to lower it using my volume on my headset. That's another reason why it's good to have a headset. Now go to screen area. Now there's two ways you can do it. You could use select region, and then you would have to click the upper left and then the lower right, or you can just hit select window, which as you see selects that window. You could select the entire emulator or just the gameplay, or you can select, anything, but you do that. Now, let's see, is this working? I think I froze. That's bad. I hope. Yeah, not good. What is going on here? Oh boy. This is just really. Let me just get rid of this. Okay, sorry about that, folks. A little bit of a snafu there. Anyway, then what you're going to do is you're going to click on Start Recording and just play the game. And then when you're done with your video, you're going to hit Stop Recording, and then you have your video. That's the easy way, but if you don't have Hypercam, I'm going to show you the way that I more commonly do it with the emulators. Now, you're going to need two programs. One is going to be an audio editor. The audio editor of my choice is called Goldwave, and I want to warn you once again, Goldwave is not a free program. You will have to get it through paying for it or other means. Here is Goldwave. I'm using version 5.55. I always keep it up to date. Bring up a new sound. Now, when you bring up a new sound, I just keep everything here the same except for the initial file length. I have it as an hour. I do that for everything. Just make sure that it's at least enough time to record what you need. Here's our sound. Okay, now we bring up our emulator. Now, let's say I wanted to do Adventure Island. So, don't request this game, by the way. I do have it in a planned feature. Don't request any Adventure Island games. Okay, now,